Stuffing my face there, Rob. Good afternoon. Excuse me. I'm really late today because my clock was wrong. I was going by my clock and not my phone time. And right now it's saying it's just after 8 o'clock and it's actually noon. So when I went to pick up a breakfast, I'm looking at the menu and it's got all hamburgers on there at the A&W. And I thought, well, where's the breakfast menu? And I look at my phone and it says it's 11:30. So Rob and Ronnie, right on. Justin and Christina. Hey, how you doing? I'm having well, it's not a slideshow, but I've got a bunch of what do you call photos that I'm going to do. Like last Sunday, I did it was an actual video of still shots. This one, I'm just going to click on each one as we go through. I'm like this. You can be wrong all day. Yeah. And good morning, good afternoon, or good evening to each and every one of you. Excuse me for stuffing my face right here, right now. Like I said, my timing is off. I don't know what happened. I'm 3 hours behind time. And I thought I was just going out for breakfast. And here it is already 11:30. And I thought it was 7:30 in the morning. So I'm having a Tim Hortons farmer's sausage wrap here. A couple of bites left. And a nice tea. I mean, iced coffee. How the heck is everyone doing today? Is summer just about over, kind of where you are? The trees are still green here. I'm surprised. It was cold last night. It got into single digits as far as Celsius is. 6.9 degrees Celsius. So what is that? In the 30s or low 40s of Fahrenheit? That's cold. And in the daytime, it's usually pretty hot, which tells the trees, yeah, it's time to, the leaves are time to turn yellow and shut down. I like everything from spring on all the way to fall. I like spring, I like summer, I like fall. Don't like winter. That's why I'm going to Mexico this year for winter. Another month, and I get to go. Last bite. So I'm thinking these slides or photos that I'm going to show you, I'll put them on for as long as I want to, instead of having them every 10 seconds or so. And then I can get questions about them if you like. Yeah, last night, Montreal, Quebec. That's where you are. Wow. Well, right here, right now, uh, my outside thermometer thing is not in the sun, but it's 26 degrees outside Celsius. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, Celsius. 26. So it's pretty warm here still. Let me see if I can get this to work. Share a screen, and I'll put up some still shots that you guys can scrutinize. Tell me what you think. Okay, how do we do this? Bloody flies. I just finished having breakfast. Oh, there we go. At least you can still see me in the corner. Now, if you have any questions about these slides, just let me know. If you want to know what they are, what's the purpose behind it. Like my kind of photography, I like to do. I'm not so much in the candid shots of people, although I used to be wedding shots and everything. You have to get over the thing that people don't like their just candid shots. People don't like their picture taken sometimes. So when you're walking down the street, you're snapping pictures without their knowledge, really, unless you tell them. And but most of the time, I like to do still photography like this. Not so much. I'm not too much into wildlife, although I'm trying to get into it. But I like, what would you call it? Not trick photography, but photography that is you kind of don't know what it is. I like that kind. Like last week we did the what with the hearts. There was I could see hearts everywhere. Um, so that's what I was taking pictures of. Like not necessarily a picture of a heart, but like a coffee cup. The one, I don't know if you've seen that, with the coffee cup with the handle and the shadow made a heart. The shadow on the cup made a heart. So this one here is they're called, well, for geocaching, we put a little piece of paper inside of these things so people could sign them. And yeah, pill containers too. Um, this is very tiny. Oh, I don't know. Maybe that's, I don't know, an inch and a half tall, inch. And the whole idea behind this photo is it's clear all from front to back. It's focus stacking. It's called. It's maybe 10 shots, and they're all stacked one after the other so that the whole thing looks in focus as opposed to just a certain part. So that's the idea behind that kind of photography there. Let me get rid of this one. And okay, how do I call up another? Oh, okay, I won't be able to see the screen that way then. I hope you can still see this. And on to the next photo. And there we are again with the same thing as focus stacking, but different containers to hold. You can see the gold colored one there, the size compared to the other ones. Although the biggest one in the background there is probably 2 inches tall, maybe 2.5 inches tall. So you can see what the sizes are. The red one, you can't tell the size, but it's just about as tall as the silver one in the background there, but not as big around. What's the next photo? Oh, now this kind of photography I like. Making this up. This is my truck when it was, before I sold it, was brand spanking new. And a night shot, of course, so that you can leave the shutter open for a long period of time. And then I just had a steel rod with a like a batting on the end of it on fire. And the reason you can't see me in the photo is because it's dark outside, but I actually am in the photo there. I took that long rod and I went around my wheels like that and then out the back, and then back up the front to the other side of the tire. It looks like I'm burning up the road there. All right, Justin and Christina, thank you for popping in. And you have an epic day. Stay cool. Be kind. Stay awesome. Thanks for coming in. And yeah, I guess you could use those for pill containers. Yeah. But anyway, thanks for coming in there, Justin and Christina. Nice to see you. Yeah, there was. I didn't actually burn up the road there, but that's in the bumper. You can see a light. I think after it was completely dark out, like real black. The sky is kind of bluish a little bit, but it was actually really dark. But yeah, when you open the shutter for so long, and then to light up the vehicle, I did the flash on the camera after the fact, like this flash, and lit up the truck a little bit. Yeah. Yeah, it's called focus stacking. When you take about, well, however many it takes, I would focus right on the front of the object, let the rest go out of focus, because when you use a really your aperture is really small, like the number of if 16 or 22, your depth of field is not very good. So it's perfect in focus right where you're focused at. So you set it up on a tripod, of course. You take it right in front, clear, then you move it so that it focuses a little farther back, a few millimeters. Take another shot, another shot, another shot, sometimes 10, 20 shots to get to the back. And then you put it in like Photoshop or something and stack them all together and go through the process. And it clears up the whole from front to back so that everything looks in focus. Works out really well. Next one. Oh, here again is another perfectly black out, dark, and you just I'm in the pictures, walking around there. You can't see me, but I have a remote flash with me, or a flashlight, and I just light up paint. It's called light painting. You paint what you want, and the camera picks up what the light is shining on, what it sees there. So this one here is not focus stacking. I just focused. It's hard to focus at night when you don't know what to focus on. So you want to make sure that you're far enough away so that you can focus on infinity, sort of. So you don't have to worry about what you're focused on, the distance. Otherwise, you got to light up your object, focus, and then take your shot. But this one here had, I shone my flashlight underneath the wheels, along the side of it, the door. I'm standing right actually at the door. You can see a pinpoint of light there. That's the flashlight shining against the door, and I'm standing right there. But you don't see me because it doesn't. I make sure that I'm not in the light, and how can I get rid of this box? There we go. Now I can see what's going on a little more. What did you say here? I use older manual lenses to create similar effects. Soft focus around the edge without worrying about this camera trying to fix it. Yeah, cool. Absolutely. My cameras all now are digital, but I did have a Minolta. I just sold it 5 years ago, actually, now. But that was a film camera. Like, you had to put film in it. So when you took a shot, you don't know whether, when you go to get it processed, whether it was working or not. Now you just digital shots. You can take 100 shots and delete 99 of them if they're not good. Okay, next one. Oh, here's another one. This is a picture of my nephew. And hey, Tommy, we're having another slideshow. Today's topic is, but I'm going through the slides myself. Like, just go next one. It's not automatic. So just to take a little bit of a look at some of the photos that I took, and I have a couple in here of Sharon's photos here too. So you have a film development set in your attic. Do you still use it? Can you still buy film for cameras? Now this shot was my nephew. He just standing there, and then I had a flashlight pointed at him, and then I just went around his arms and legs, and that's what showed up. I didn't go across the front as well as I should have, like across his chest. Oh, this one's fun to do. You get a steel egg beater, egg whisk, a steel one, and then you put some really fine steel wool inside it, and then hang that from a string. And then you just take a 9-volt battery and touch it on the steel wool, and it'll start not burning, but it'll start smoldering away sort of on fire. And then you just stand away from the camera and twirl this thing around. And I'm standing right in the center of that circle, but you can't see me because I'm not lit up. If the light was on me, you'd be able to see me. And the sparks are flying everywhere when you do this, so you got to make sure that you're not anywhere near. Yeah, it's not cheap. Yeah, I suppose. And back then you had to worry about like the ASA, called the ISO today, the speed and everything like that of the film. And I used to have, like I said, my 35 millimeter Minolta camera. Loved that camera; it was great. But now the way it is now, the new ones, like the mirrorless camera that I have, I can go tick 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 like real fast. It'll take photos. My Minolta couldn't do that quickly. My other Canon, what was it? IT3. It was like, it's an older camera, but it was a digital, but it had a mirror. It still couldn't take it that fast. It was like 5 or 6 photos a second or something. This one takes lots of shots in a second. Okay, next, another night. The flashlight in my hand is pointed at the camera, and then you just write the letters. And I turned it off between the N and the V, so you would make the N, turn it off, go over, thinking where it would be, because you're just in midair, like you have to kind of figure out what it's going to look like on the film. You can see a bit of the tripod standing there. I'm away from I got 2 tripods in this case, where the camera is, and then the one in the back. Mexico. This is a place called Chichen Itza in Mexico, and the Mayan. This is a Mayan, not a Mexican. A Mayan person. They're very proud people. Love their culture. They were doing a kind of a show, their exhibition thing there, and it was just fantastic. I really loved the Mayan culture, Chichen Itza, Tulum, Xcaret. There's a few of them there that you can go and have a tour through. So that was beautiful. Oh, and there's a close-up of the same guy. He was doing some sort of chanting or something at the time. Yeah, love that culture. I think this is a Mexican a little bit. Yeah. Now these things here, this guy is really green, and you can see the end of his tail is. Can you see my mouse on the screen? Oh yeah, his tail is actually cut off. He must have been in a fight with another one, and these are wild. This is in Cancun, and he's really green, colored up because he's probably in mating time, and they're wild over there. And when you come to my city here, they're like several $100s to buy one. They're just running wild over there. I don't know if it's legal to catch them and then keep them as a pet. But this one here was just it's called Laguna, and he was sitting there showing himself off. I guess there might have been some females or something in the area he was looking for. And this is right in the city of Cancun. All the Mayan culture and the Mayan carvings that they have there. Really enjoyed, and you can see right there where my mouse is right now, there's a parrot or one of the cockatiel, a live one in the background there. So that's part of the in Cancun. This wasn't out in the Mayan ruins and things. And this was at a place called Chichen Itza. I don't know what Chichen Itza means. Chichen is like chicken or something. Chicken, I think. A lot of places won't let them due to the impact they have on the habitats. Yeah, no kidding. Now these guys, Mayans or Mexicans and Mayans, they all want money for whatever you do. And the guy in the background there that's got his arms up with the feathers, you have to pay to get your picture taken. You can see the two other people standing in front of him there. But I was standing way in the back, and they didn't want to perform or take their picture while I was standing there. If you take a picture of them for free, they don't like that. So you have to just be fast. I mean, there's cameras everywhere. But I guess that's the way they make their living, some of them. So that was at Chichen Itza. And those are Mayan people, not Mexican. That's a different culture there. This photo was taken not by me. This was by Sharon. It's funny that she's not in the house today. Looks like a woman standing there. Just the angle of it's amazing. Looks pretty good. Now I forget what you call these kind of flowers, but I found that Mexico anyway, because you're close to the equator there, most of the plants are really thick leaf and kind of rubbery kind of leaves. I guess to withstand there's usually hardly any snow there or cold. So I forget what you call this kind of flower. I should have taken it from another angle just to show you a little bit more. But I like to do like flowers and plants and stuff too, because they're different from here. And there again, there's another flower from Cancun. This one was from Cancun area. The other one was from could have been from one of those tour places. And this is a different flower. This one here, the leaves are not so much as rubbery on this one. I don't know if any trees lose their leaves like they do here. Maybe they're green all the time. I don't know. I'll find out when I go there this winter. Coconuts. Now, coconuts are their national plant, so you can't pick them. If you were to climb up this tree and pick one of those coconuts, and a policeman saw you, he'd fine you, because you're not supposed to touch the coconuts. You wait till they fall off, then you can pick them up off the ground. But you can't climb up the tree to pick them. So that's why I took a picture of the coconuts, because I didn't see any on the ground, and they were yellow yet, orange colored. Well, the color you see there. I do 99.9, probably 100% of my photos are put through Photoshop to make the colors look like what I really see. The camera, I don't care what kind of a camera you got or how good it is, you still cannot take a picture of what your eye sees, because of the depth of what the camera can put on the film or the sensors. Like, you still can't get the full depth of what your eye can see. So, and some people say that's cheating. Well, no, it's not. I'll bet you all photographers put all their film and video photos through a post process. Oh yeah, I love their plants there. The big fan, beautiful, beautiful. You could just walk around all day and take pictures of just plants. I mean, to the locals, they're probably nothing special. And here again, that was the like, this one was delicate, very delicate leaves. And this was in Cancun City also. And the sky in the background, of course. And these are like the cactus uh, plant leaves or flowers. This was in I think this was, uh, could be Chichen Itza, or it could be Xcaret, a tour through Xcaret. Their all their plants they have there, especially the cactus, where they make tequila. That will kill you. Tequila. Another one with the cactus plants there, and the beautiful flowers these things have. And they're not like soft and like flowers from here. Beautiful plants though. But this one was a little bit more like the flowers we would have here. It looks like I might have used a flash on this one, the way the petals are lit up like that. That could be what that is. It was dark in this place. They had mushrooms in there too. I don't think I got any of the mushrooms on here, but their mushrooms are weird there too. Like, wow. Yeah, look at this. Look at this thing. Like, another cactus flowering plant. Like, beautiful colors. I think, yes, there was flash on this too, because you can see in the background there, you can see the shadow. So beautiful plants though. I don't know if the purple kind of tips flower out more than that, or if that's just the way they are at the time when I was there. This was, I think, in May, not this year, but it was like 10 years ago when I was there last, 9 years ago. Um, I was there in May, March, April, March, maybe. Spring break. Spring break, yes. That's when the whole city of Cancun is filled with young uh, young people who wear next to no clothes. My goodness. Oh, these white flowers look like they had a couple of bees on them, pollinating or whatever they're doing there. No, these were pretty flimsy little flowers too, and you can see them in the background there, where I had, you can see cactuses and things there too. That they were all on display, and beautiful. It was indoors. This was all indoors. Although there's not too much indoors in Mexico, mostly it's open air places. You might have a roof over it, but there's no walls of things. It's just open air. When it rains, it just rains like straight down. It doesn't blow in. So they don't have any walls. Not every place. And here was another one. I don't know what kind of plant this was at all. It's just showing the stem. Not much about that. If you guys got any questions, just go ahead and ask. Hopefully I can explain what the idea behind the photo was or what it is. This flower is from Canada. This is from Vancouver. When I was in Vancouver, this white flower. This wasn't a Mexican flower. I don't know what you call these kind of plants, but this was from Vancouver Island, where there's lots of, in Vancouver and Vancouver Island, there's lots of moss kind of plants. They call them, you must have heard of Boston ferns, what they call a Boston fern. I don't have a picture of that. But when you go off into the bushes, into the woods on the island or in Vancouver areas, parks, you'll see Boston ferns growing everywhere all year long. Like February, I was in the woods in February, and there's moss on the trees, moss on the ground, Boston ferns, green, lush, like all year long. And the Alberta flower of our province flower. And you know what? I don't know the name of it. If somebody can remind me, and if anybody knows, the Alberta, it's the prairie something. I don't know, but that's the Alberta national flower. Each province has their own kind of flower. This is for Alberta. Tiger something, maybe not tiger lily. I don't know. I can't remember. I'd have to look that up. Sorry, I didn't. I don't know what that is. And this was from on the island, Vancouver Island, Victoria Island. It was. I don't know if it was raining then or there was a sprinkler on, and I just loved the way it was. I don't think it was raining because I wouldn't have my camera out unless I put it in a bag or something and shoot through the plastic. Alberta flower, wild rose. Yes, there you go. The wild rose. This shot was taken by, again, Sharon, who was kind enough to send me some photos. And by the way, if anybody wants to send me some photos that when I do a thing like this with the slideshow, by all means. My email is in the description somewhere, or you should know it, and then just send away. Sharon took this one here. She likes sunrises, sunsets, and plants and things like that also, which is beautiful. Beautiful. Nice shot. There we go. The Alberta flower. Oh, it doesn't matter if you take good pictures, Tommy, as long as the subject is okay. I mean, I can I can put it through Photoshop, and I do editing anyway on my own photos. I can edit. I can take out some blurriness. I can take out certain things. I can highlight certain things or crop or do whatever. I can make it look a little better than maybe than you know. There's a lot of photos I've taken. I can make them a lot better than what I've taken them. Sometimes I'll forget to do something in camera, and you're clicking away, and then, hey, John Chalker, how you doing, my friend? Didn't hear much from you last month, eh? Sharon, what do you see on the screen? It must be one of your photos. We're just talking about your ears must be burning. I think they say when your ears are burning when somebody's been talking about you. But I went through I showed a couple of, one so far of yours with the tree that looks like a lady standing there with just the way, the angle. And then this one here. So, and like I'm asking anybody, even Tommy, she says, my photos aren't good enough. Well, we don't know. Send me a few and we'll see on the next one. On the next slideshow, I mean, we'll see what it looks like. Yeah, I was just telling everybody that you must like the same things I do, as far as you like moss and shrubbery and things like that, and plants and sunrises, sunsets. That's exactly the same kind of photography that I like. Something that doesn't move too much. But no, I like. We'll get into some more here, like trick photography type things, and that's what I like, when you can take a picture and you don't know what it is. Unless somebody tells you, oh, that's what that is. So, right on. Uh, uh, love nature. Yes, I as well. How can I get it's going on? Yeah, Rob, appreciate it very much. Send me all you want, by the hundreds if you like. Um, if you're in a photo and you don't want to be in the photo and you're like off to the side, or so I can crop it or take you out of the photo, that's no problem there. Um, just let me know when you send them what you would like, and I hope you don't mind, anybody that sends me photos. I hope you don't mind if I edit them a little bit. Maybe they don't need any editing. I don't know. I'd have to see. So I had technical difficulty due to a lightning strike. Oh wow! Took the internet completely down. Oh wow! For how long was that? It was down for until the 13th. Oh wow! I hate it when you don't. I don't have internet like you guys do, like in the house or in the. Okay, no problem. There's some more of your video pictures coming up too. Anyway, oh whoops, there's one right there. That's one of Sharon's right there. Now I can't tell by the trees, but they look like kind of palm trees or something. But beautiful sunsets. Now I don't know. I can't. Can you tell by a photo whether it's sunrise or sunset? I don't know. I don't know if you can tell without somebody telling you that's a sunset or that's a sunrise, because I think they looked exactly the same. So that's one of Sharon's there. And this is one of Sharon's here also. Cloud formation is just beautiful there. And I think okay. Living in Florida. Okay, yeah, that's where the palm trees come in. You got one, I think, coming up. Maybe the next one coming up, where the sun is shining through the clouds, and it's got like rays or something coming down. I have one like that too, or a couple like that, but they're not on this particular slideshow thing here. Maybe it's the next one then. I don't know. I think I have it in here somewhere. It should be in your. I got all the sunrises and sunsets all together here, and this is another one of Sharon's here. So beautiful, perfect. These are not edited in any way. They were just, in my opinion, good enough just to put up the way they were. So I didn't change anything at all. It's just the way you had it sent to me. Whether you edited or not, I don't know, but that's the way it was put up. Just the way I got it. Yeah, this one here. See how the rays are coming down like that? That's what I did. Or I have a few like that. Very nice, very nice. Very cool indeed. And you see the way that's looking there, it's like the sun has got to be up behind the clouds a little bit so that it has a downward rays like that. Looks cool. Very good. Oh, this is the same shot, just from farther back. And I never noticed this. I don't know if you can see through the trees here, or is that a house? I don't really know what that is there. Little light patch where my mouse is swirling around there. But that's beautiful. I like that. It's like God up there speaking, saying, hey, remember me? Cool. Oh, yeah, okay. These are, I've got nothing to show the size of these things. Oh, yeah, okay. Wow. My internet was down in front here. Sorry about your internet thing there. These rocks here, there's a place about 20 kilometers away from here. It's called Red Rock Coulee. The rocks are red like this, but just in this area, they're round like this. And this is just a couple of hundreds. But the size of these rocks they vary. But these ones here are almost as up to my shoulders, from the ground to up to the top here would be to my shoulders height. So that's over 4 feet tall. I don't have anything to show you for. I should have been standing in front of them or something to show you. But I was just more intrigued by it. I took my drone and flew a nice cinematic video of this area. It's been out there for a couple of years now, but wow, what was that? These rocks here, are you talking about these rocks here? Those are from a place called Red Rock Coulee. And this one picture doesn't do the area justice at all. So you'd have to see the video, or I don't think I have any more like this. Hang on. No, that was it. That was all the just a night shot of the moon, and the sun was going down, and the moon was out, and you can see how bright the one side of the moon is there, just glaring in the sun yet. You could even see some stars. There's one star there at the end of my mouse, another star over here. You probably can't see that unless you got a big screen. We were taking a picture of the Milky Way that day, and I did point my camera straight up, and we were way out in the prairie somewhere camping, and to take a picture of the Milky Way. I don't have even the picture of the Milky Way. I don't either. They didn't turn out the way I wanted, or I don't know why, but I don't have them in here anyway. This place is Skookumchuck. It's on Vancouver Island in a campground area there. An old beat up old truck sitting there, has been there for hundreds of years, and an old canoe on top. Skookumchuck. By looking at there, it was a Boy Scout, and we know how to tell how tall they are. Yeah. If you had something in front or something to do for scale, so you can see how big things are. Most of the time I do put something in there, like something from my person, like another camera that I have sitting there, so you can tell. Or if I had a thing of water with me, I'd put the water bottle up there so you could see, so you get a sense of scale. More old-time machinery from many, many, many years ago. The strawberries. Okay, show the. All they do is look at your chateau by how far it goes. Yeah, you're right. Oh, this photo was taken on Vancouver Island, again, Victoria. I won a contest with this photo. It was foggy that day, and I took my, obviously you can see the fog there, but I took my drone up. It was still a little foggy, and I flew around, came around past this guy here. That's not an island. He's actually on a piece that juts out, but the sun was just hitting his house, only lit up, and the water was glass clear, and a beautiful day, early in the morning. And then it's cropped a little bit. Over on the far left side of the photo, there was some trees, which I cropped out and sent it in, and won a photo contest with this particular photo. So means a lot to me, that one. Okay, there we go. That's the kind of photography I like here too. Now, this one here was, I don't think it was a cigarette. It was something else that was burning and letting off smoke. There's no fire, just smoke that was billowing off, like you can light a piece of string on fire, or a what do you call it, incense or something, and it's flipped upside down. So it's, if you turn it 180 degrees over, then you can visualize what it would look like, and then colored in Photoshop, a complete different color than smoke. I think it was, I put a white card in the background and then recolored just the smoke itself. So that's what that one is. You should be able to tell the next one then. I think the next one is, yes, here we go, the same thing. Now this was done with Photoshop also, coloring, but only one half of this photo is what it is. And then you take and flip it and add it to the other one so that it's the same one. And I have seen some of these that look, I mean, they had edited the smoke and what it looks like, but it's two people kissing each other. That's not what this is supposed to represent. It was just, I tried, oh, that looks cool, I can do that. So I took a picture. I think this is incense or something that just smokes. And what you do is light it up with either a flashlight, with a black card in the background. This not flash. So you light it up somehow with just lighting of some sort, floodlights or whatever. And And then everything is done in post after that in Photoshop, like colored from the bottom, from like purple and blues, and from left to right. You can see the blues go to green, to yellow, to red. So that's, and then duplicated and flipped over. All right, can anybody tell me what's going on here? Need to have that drink. Okay, this one here is you almost they're Rob. Yes, they're Christmas tree lights, but not a Christmas tree. They're just hanging on the wall about 15 feet away from the glass. And so they're out of focus and the glass is in focus. And then it kind of looks like bubbles or what have you coming out of the glass. Although it doesn't look like it's, from my perspective, I should be down a little farther because you can see the whole rim of the glass there. That's not what you want. It doesn't look like the lights are in the glass. You see, the bottom part, yes. But if I was more horizontal on it, you wouldn't be able to see the other side of the rim of the glass there, and would look a little better. And the background is supposed to be out of focus like that. And it's amazing. I never realized it till now. But you can see all the reflections in the glass itself, and even the lights in the glass part are more in focus than the ones that are in the background because the glass makes them more in focus. It's like another lens in front of the thing there. So yeah, Christmas tree lights, those tiny little Christmas tree lights hanging in the background. See that again, I like this kind of photography here. I don't think anybody could ever guess what this is, or know what this is unless you've done it. And I have another one of this with a whole bunch of those blob things on there, but these are just the two big ones and two little ones on the side. This part over here on this side and the bottom corner here is the actual center circle of the DVD. This is a DVD. The orange, the purple. That's the color that comes off of that thing when it's not colorized at all. This is just this color you see there is just the color that I saw through the lens. Now, when you take a CD and turn it like that and have the light come in at a certain angle, that's when you can see all the colorized. It's not when you look at it flat. And the bubble, the round things on here is actually water bubbles, water drops that were put on there on purpose, like with a syringe or something. And that's exactly what I see. And you can see the rainbow in there. It's amazing how that came out. And there's what you see. I don't know if even this photo was even edited in any way. I think it's just the way it showed up, the way it turned out. Here again, you'll never guess what this is. I don't even know how if I can explain this. You might not have these in your country. Out on the roads, on the prairie, anyways, out here, when you're driving down the highway, you'll come across a side road, maybe going either way on the side road. Now, to signify where this side road is, they have these white tubes with a black top on them, stripe around the top, to show you either side of the road that you can turn into, to signify that there's a road there. they're made out of plastic, so that if you hit them or with a car or anything, they just sort of bend over. They don't break off. So I just stuck my camera in the top of this part, right around the edge, right here, where my mouse is going around. Is the very top of it is black, and then farther down the pipe is white with the black strip again farther down, and then it's white all the way down to the ground, and the black eye in the center is probably below ground level because they're stuck in the ground. And these are, like I said, plastic, so the light is shining through the white parts, and it's just stuck my camera in the top, taking a picture down. It looks like maybe a fisheye or something. And these little black marks here that you see are actually bugs, flies, out of focus. Spider or something down there. That's what this photo is. Oh, this picture was actually taken with my Minolta camera, the film camera, when I was really heavy into filters you put on the front. The filter that you put on the front of this to make it rainbow spike effect off of every highlight. And then as you turn the filter, those spikes would rotate. Now I could have, as I was taking the picture, rotate that, and then these spiky things would be out of focus. I like blurred. Might have a nice inspection or whatever. Anyway, this was my truck, that blue truck that I had with the wheels that were on fire there. But this is the mirror on the passenger side, and the mirror is actually fully chrome. The mirrors were chromed, and the truck was the blue color you see in the background there. So that's why you can see the sky and the land here in this, with the sun beating down, and that was a highlight. So that the filter showed that there too, and it's same with on this right there where the sunburst was there. Everybody knows what horror frost is. I just got up one day and the wire outside I don't know if this was a wire or a shovel handle or something, but it's got horror frost on it. I should have actually got a little closer so I could show you the more beautiful the little intricate feathering at the ends of the horror frost. That's what this one is. And I love it when it puts the whole background out of focus. They call that bokeh, when everything is out of focus in the background and focused in front here, or whatever you're shooting at in focus. Oh, this one here, I usually carry with me a black card, a white card, and a gray card with me, cardboard, color black, white, and gray, for simple purposes like this. You find a barbed wire fence, put the black card behind, take your shot. Now, this was supposed to represent somebody giving you the finger. If you can see that, it kind of looks like his thumb there and the fingers, and then he's got his middle finger up. That's what this is supposed to represent or to show. I guess I could have just had a piece of barbed wire and did it in the house. I mean, but this is out in nature. So I just had a black card for behind it instead of having the prairie or whatever it was showing behind that. Not the same barbed wire fence, but another barbed wire fence, and it's shot straight up at the sky. But you can see the red. The idea was to see the red drop on the end here, and the red there, and the kind of red everywhere. It's supposed to like be blood. You'll see in the next. I didn't make it quite right in the next one, but it's supposed to look like it's going in my finger. and you can see the tip too well. So it's not blood. I think it was just iodine or something. I colored the wire with iodine and on my finger, and it was make it to look like I was crawling over the fence or something, and I poked my finger. But you can see that it's not even. It's not. It didn't even break the skin. So if you're really looking at what's going on there, but you can see my finger and right in this area here how it's in focus, and then as you get to about here it's out of focus. So the depth of field is really like really tiny, like probably that might have been an F11 or F16 or something like that. F22. I think my new camera goes up to a 32 or even higher. I don't know, but the ISO goes really high too, and that's way too much. I don't like a lot of noise in my photos. Oh yeah, this is a pudding I've seen. Heinz, taste of home, delightful, spotted dick pudding. I just had to take a picture of that. Spotted dick pudding. I think there's only one more picture. And then we're finally at the end here. Yeah, a little bunny. The UK staple pudding, yeah. A little bunny. It was just a little juvenile bunny, but really friendly. Yeah, I know I have a telephoto lens on there, but he was sitting about less than 5 feet away from me. You could there's a white one around here. These are obviously probably pets or something at one time. The white one, you can pet him and you can scratch his ears and stuff, but this guy here wouldn't let me come that close, although I've got just about arm's length away from this little guy. And yeah, rabbits are kind of bunnies and all. They're kind of cute and what have you, but boy, can they be vicious. Not to bite you, but when I've seen rabbits when a snake was coming up to a rabbit that had babies in a nest there, and that rabbit really went after that snake and tore it apart. Like it did kung fu flips and everything over that snake. Let me tell you. Yeah, that is the end of the photos. Let me get rid of this and blow this up. There, we are back to normal. It's a steamed fruit sponge pudding served with a custard. Oh, that sounds good. I never bought it. I just saw it at the store. Oh, wow. Yeah. Well, you don't want them to bite you. That's for sure. Although, yeah, I mean, rabbits can be a nice pet. My niece and nephews had rabbit as a pet, but yeah, they can be pretty vicious. Them things, and they do have diseases, especially if they're wild ones. I mean, the ones that you have. Okay, XSplit camera. I'm using the XSplit camera. No way. Settings. How can I go into settings and change the camera to? Oh, it is XSplit camera. It's opposite still, but I gotta change that to easy cam. Oh wow, that's a whole lot less area. Okay, there we go. I'm using it. The other one was a different software digital camera as opposed to, but yet it must use my laptop as the camera. Oh wow, that to do those slideshow there. It took an hour. Wow, I've been on for an hour already. And see, my clock it says 9:30 here. And what time is it really? The real time is 1:04. Yeah, right. I've been on for an hour. Duh. And I haven't taken any of my pills yet for today. But I had my new drone, the DJI Avata. I had it out yesterday. Take some beautiful, beautiful video with this thing. Although I hate the batteries. You fly for, you can squeeze 15 minutes of flight out of this battery, and you only get one when you with it. And in 15 minutes the flight's over, and then you have to recharge it, and it takes 4 hours to recharge the battery. Like ridiculous. And DJI said that they're going to come out with a faster way to. Now, if you have a fast, powerful charger, you can charge them up within 40 minutes or so. But I don't even know where I can get a charger that can charge this. But this thing, because I have a Mavic, this is an FPV drone. Well, it flies like a Mavic also. You can fly it several ways. You can fly it like a Mavic, which is totally controlled by the, and it comes with this controller. So it's a one-handed thing. You when you want to turn it, you go like this and like this. And when you want to go up or down. But you can also fly it with a regular controller, with the sticks. And then you can get into another mode called the, you can do normal mode and sport mode with this thing, fast and faster. And then you can go into a manual mode with the other controller, which I haven't got yet. It's something I guess I have to get extra. And the new goggles 2, they're called. These are the new goggles compared to the older ones, which are much higher. And these are I did an unboxing of this thing. And now that I've flown a couple of times with it, I'm learning a lot more. And I can put up some more video of it because I'm really liking this. It gets you into a FPV. I tried FPV with other drone, like real FPV flying, and I'm just not coordinated enough. I'm too dyslexic. My left and my right get confused. When you go, you got to turn hard right. Well, I have to think about which hand I write with. It's strange. Then I know my right hand. But yet when you say, like sometimes somebody will say, well, you don't know your right from your left because he's point right. And you go like this. You see, I have to think about which is right and left. So by the time you're thinking of that, it's too late. Your drone is not in the right spot. You're not convinced by the battery. The batteries are like all DJI drones, all of them. I don't care which one you buy. They all have problems. All of them. Every single one. They all have their pros and their cons. This one here it gets me flying. I can't make a mistake. Get with the thing in just normal mode. With this thing, it's so easy. There's a dot on the screen with you when you're looking in the goggles. There's a dot, and you just steer that dot where you want to go. That's how easy it is. It's like playing a video game. Very, very simple. So if you're used to cinematic Mavic flights, this is so easy. If you just jump into FPV flying, well, then you got a muscle memory in your fingers to get it to fly where you want. And if you let go of the sticks, down she comes. Whereas this one, I can let go of the trigger and it'll just sit there and hover, and I can put this in my pocket and it'll just sit there and hover. So works really good. But the things that I only have flown it twice, and the things that I find that are wrong with it already are Well, it's not necessarily wrong, but there's no forward sensing anything. So if you're coming towards something, it doesn't know it's there. It'll just bump into it. It has downward facing sensing right there. The two right there. I don't know whether this is FLIR or not, but it senses the ground really well. So it senses downward stuff. So no forward thing. That's, I don't know if that's a minus or whatever. The camera is perfect. It's got one of the DJI's best cameras in here. Where you put the SD card, stupid place. They put it right here. There's a little flap right here, right beside the prop. I can't even show that to you very well. There's not enough light. Well, sort of there. There's a little flap there you open up. That's where your SD card is. And that's where a Type-C connector is. Well, how can you put a Type-C connector in there? The props are in the way. And to get the card in and out is very hard. So that's a downside of that right away. The charging of the batteries, another downside, unless you get a fast charger. They're making a fast charger already for this thing. At least 65 watts. That's what you need. And when you're talking about LiPo batteries, because I'm an electrician, I know all about LiPo batteries and the charging and the discharging and leaving them in a charge state and what have you. So charging them up fast is not going to hurt anything. It doesn't hurt the LiPo batteries at all. It's charging them because these batteries are so intelligent. As a matter of fact, I'm charging the one up right now. Well, the only one I have, this one here, and it's on the fourth light. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the last one. It's already on that last one light for the last hour. Like, that's why every light takes an hour to charge. It goes 1, then 2, then 3, then 4. Now they do make already a fast one, which will charge that up in about 40 minutes instead of 4 hours. So that's 100 times faster. But you got to pump in at least 65 watts. It's got to be the charger, and not your 1.5 milliamps or 2 milliamps. 3 is still not good enough. You need like a 5 milliamp charging power supply to get it to charge up. The battery that goes on the goggles takes another 4 hours to charge, but it lasts a lot longer. It lasts about 5 flights before you have to recharge. And then the battery in here doesn't take as long to charge either, and it lasts 4 or 5 flights too. So it's the battery that goes in the drone that's the disappointment. Now, yes, I know shooting in, like I had this defaulted to 4K 60 frames a second, 60 FPS, and I didn't realize it. And when I put it in my editor to edit the video, it was really choppy because 4K is just, I don't want to even video in 4K because I'm not zooming in to highlight anything. And 4K to show it on YouTube is a waste of, your eye can't see 4K anyways. Your eye can only see barely 2K. As a matter of fact, some people were saying that the eyeball can only see 5 megabytes, not K. And the center of your eye is in perfectly focus, not even your whole eye. So it's a whole nother story behind what your eye can see and why people are saying, oh, you got to shoot in 4K 100. I mean, this thing can shoot in 4K 120 frames a second, or I think even higher. Like, but why? To me, it's a waste. I like to actually shoot in 30 frames a second. I can do in post. I can speed it up or slow it down. I never zoom in too much to show anything so that it doesn't blur or anything. If I do. But this thing will only go as low as 1080p 60 FPS. So then I got to go into my editor and All my other cameras are set to 30 FPS. So now I've got to go into the editor and change it so that I'm, some videos are in 60, some are in 30. And then this can, I think this one only has, no, this one has an SD card and I think internal memory also, 20 megabytes or 20 gigabytes of internal memory. And I set it to so that both of these, the internal and the external, are recording at the same time, and the goggles have a chip in it, an SD, a SIM card or a SD card in it too. But another thing that I don't like, I don't know if I can change it. I haven't found a way. The two videos coming from here are in MP4, and I don't know if I can change that or not. But the video coming from the goggles is in MOV, which is Apple, and I wanted to record in MP4, but I don't think I can change that. I mean, it's too simple to. As a matter of fact, when the video comes out and it says MOV format, all I got to do is rename the video to MP4. There is no, you don't have to convert. It just rename it with MP4 at the end, and it's converted for you. Let me just see what you say here. The sensors are apparently downward, binocular vision, and infrared sensing, according to DJI. Yeah, well, they do a lot more than infrared. I'm thinking that's FLIR, because my Mavic does not know that it's over water. If I come down, it'll land in the water. This one won't do that. When it sees water, it knows that there's water there. And another thing that this does, which I really like, is if I'm way up high in the air and an airplane flies near it, this thing knows that the airplane is there and it'll come down. So it's got a lot of good quality stuff built inside this thing. They're so very, very intelligent. Like, it's simply amazing. Yet there's a lot of things. I've seen guys on YouTube saying that the battery, when they've hit something, the battery ejects out. Now, if the batteries eject out, you got no power. You can't turn the beeper on. It's the only way to find it after it's crashed. If the battery ejects, is you've got a 30-second video of it yet that you can watch. Whether it's recorded it up to that point, or if you have recording off, it'll record the last, or I don't know how it does it, but it records the last 30 seconds you can watch of it. Then you could try to find it from that way. But there's a lot of intelligence built into this little drone. It's the baby brother of the other FPV one, but the goggles are much superior, in my opinion. It's way better. This drone is meant for people coming from cinematic type drones to FPV, because you can put this in total FPV manual mode. Then it flies just like any other FPV drone. But some people don't, like me. I don't like my video to be like this. I like my video to be nice and smooth, and because I'm used to the Mavic, the way it flies and takes video. And even my old Mavic Pro, which is, I don't think they even support that anymore, DJI. But the camera on it is just crystal clear and beautiful. Yes, it does shoot in 4K, but I never do. I always shoot in 1080p because of the way YouTube likes to have it. So, and if you can notice anything wrong with my videos, let me know. The quality, I mean. If it's not in focus, it's not in focus. That's not that's my fault, not the drone's fault. Yeah, there you go. This is what I was saying. 500 and some 500 megapixels. See, at least you understand. There's some people that I argued up and down that they said, "Oh no, your eye can see that." That's why they video in 4K. There's even 8K. Like I don't know if these isn't 12K anymore now, but your eye can't see that anyways. And if you video in 4K, it takes you a long time to upload that to YouTube if you want to leave it in 4K, and then the people watching it can't see it in 4K anyway. In order to watch 4K, you have to have a 4K monitor. So, like, anyway, some people swear by it. That's just my personal opinion. That's the way I see it. That's the way I see it, as Michael says. Are taking away over my. You're talking away over my head. I'm taking notes. If you have any questions, Sharon, go ahead. Feel free to ask. Monday is the thing. Monday, what time was that again? For the Michael Santana thing there. What kind of drone have you got there, Rob? And congratulations, by the way, on the 200. You hit the next mark. FPV on cars and bikes is cool. FPV on bikes? You mean when they put on their helmet or something? A lot of those guys use GoPro type cameras, but FPV on cars, I've seen them in cars and in RC aircraft, where there's it's in a jet, a little RC jet, but the little guy sitting inside has a camera in his head, I guess, and the little guy turns when the pilot uses, I guess, his controller. He can turn the little guy inside sideways, and he can look side. It's amazing, like an FPV type thing there. High resolution imaging was basically developed to allow images to be blown up to insane magnification. Yes, and that's what I used to do when I was taking wedding photography. You use that, you send it in, or if you develop it, our developer would do that. You could blow it up huge, and their eye would still be a crystal clear, no distortion whatsoever. A passport photo. Yeah. And I don't know if I could make it as big as a billboard, but we've had some that were 24, 36 inches square, like a square, or that's pretty big, 3 feet or more. They can put it on their living room wall, but blown up and still crystal clear. So, and that was way back from long time ago. Wow, it's 27 degrees inside here. 27 degrees outside. And the sun is behind the vehicle, and my the outside sensor temperature is out there. Man, she's warm. And if I open the door, that's probably too much light coming in. Let me just see, so I can get some sort of, I can't see. I can't see the screen. So I think tonight, oops, I lost my, six Eastern, so that's probably 6, 4, or 5, 4 o'clock or 3 o'clock my time. Okay. 6-ish. I might try to make it. You see, like what I'm saying, like when I was in last Monday, I was in the room there, And then because you guys know how to use Discord so easily, Michael was saying, well, let's go to the other, the lounge kind of place, wherever that was. He said, let's all go to this lounge place. Well, for you guys, that was so simple. You just click on something and you're there. I didn't even know where you meant to go. I couldn't find where that place was until it took me about 10 minutes or something. And I stumbled, oh, here's what they mean. Click. So maybe next time I'll know where that is. But when you don't use these things, it's so hard to just. And here I am, a computer technician. But hardware, not software. Software is 20 years ago is not the same as software today, and it's just But talking hardware is a lot different. I used to fix computers for a living for many years. Rock crawlers. Oh yeah, that's what we do. We go out rock crawling. We got the right size rocks too, so that it's like not out of proportion for size wise. Like you don't want to have big rocks for a small rock crawler, or too tiny. So yeah. And then I belonged to a club here many years ago now, though, but I used to fly RC aircraft. I had one propellered one and one glider, just to take the experience of both ways. And I had that glider so high up and straight up at one time that the instructor says, you better think about bringing that thing down a little bit. And because we had to lay on the ground to look up, because your neck, it's like for looking straight up. But the reason it was straight up above me is because I followed a bird, an eagle. He was going in this direction, so that he obviously found a thermal. And then when the wings of my aircraft tipped in one direction, oh, there's the thermal. And then you spiral up and you just keep following the thermal, lift you up. And then the gas-powered aircraft, well, that's a complete different animal. You can fly where you want. And then I was into RC cars also. I had electric, the Traxxas Rustler. I had the electric one there, and the gas-powered are the nitro. What was it called now? Team Losi. Other guy called it Team Lousy. Team Losi, big thing. And that would burn up the streets, let me tell you. That was like twice the size of any other RC one out there at the time. I had a lot of fun with those. So I did have some experience. But like I said, I'm dyslexic, I guess. My right from my left wouldn't jive. And when we were out on the course driving these things, well, I know which way the corner went that way, but yet I just couldn't. I would have a tendency to go the wrong way all the time because you're coming up on the corner real fast. And I don't know. It's not the same as flying with goggles on. Like flying this thing, line of sight, I'm all over the place. But when you're in the goggles, which means your eyes are right here, then it's way better. Flying this is like flying a video game. It's very, very easy. It's not the same as FPV, full F. Yes, you can make it full FPV, but it's not the same. It's meant for beginners. As a matter of fact, I've seen some fully FPV guys that say that this is fun to fly, but they wouldn't buy one for themselves for FPV purposes. It's not the same. For me, it's great. I can't wait to get more video out of it. But like I said, this battery is still charging. It's been that way for, well, it will be 4 hours. And then I go out and fly, and in 15 minutes, it's over. And my Mavic, I can fly 25 minutes on one battery charge, and I've got 6 batteries up behind me here. And I can charge 3 batteries all at one time, bing, 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 in 40 minutes. And I got all 3 ready to go again. So this one here, even if you buy the power pack, which can allow you to put up to 4 batteries in there, and you plug it in, what it does is it has intelligence built into it also. So what it does is it looks at all the batteries plugged in, and it says, this one needs less charge to get fully charged. Let's do it first. And it'll do it fully charged, and then do the next one in line that needs the least amount of charging, and do that till they're all 4 done. But one at a time. It won't do them all at the same time, which my Mavic, I bought a third-party power. It'll do 3 batteries all at one time, plus 2 USBs, which means it'll charge my controller and my the controller, and I can get this all out of the way here. The controller and the tablet, and 3 batteries all at one time. There is no first, second, third, fourth way. It just does them all at one time. You were a team driver for Karamissa? Oh, you did. You owned a Losi. Eh? The other store in town, he wasn't into Team Losi at all. And when I took my truck there, he said, "Oh, Team Lousy." He hated them. And this thing they're not meant to bash, but we'd go play soccer with them, and a big ball, and you'd hit the ball and try to get it into the other end. Well, inevitable, you're going to bash into other drivers, other RCs out there, and mine could withstand a lot more power hitting than the other ones, so they didn't like that at all. But anyway, there again, the professional driver that was here was a little kid, and he would go to all over the world to drive. So I remember one time I'm driving mine around the track, the Losi. I forget what the name of the actual, but it was a big one, bigger than the normal Losi. But anyways, he says you're running your fuel too rich, and I says, how do you know? he could hear it, and so he'd go in and he'd adjust the needles to make it run either not so rich or whatever. He said, "Oh, you're running too this or too that. You're going to overheat, or turn it down." And he really knew a lot about it. But he took my vehicle out around that, and man, it can go pretty fast out there around that track. But there's no way I'd have to go way slower. So what my job really was a marshal. I'd stand out in the fields where the corners were or something, and if guys would flip out, and then you would write them up again, and away they'd go again. So that's called the well, you know what that is, the name, but maybe others don't know what that is. That's marshalling. We had indoor electric ones, and I'd marshal on those. I never would drive myself because, like I said, I'm too dyslexic. Even with the drone, when I want to turn left or right, well, I with the Mavic I like to turn slowly, and I'm still not going slow enough, and I have a tendency to flick the handle, like flick flick flick. You don't do that. You just hold it slowly over until it turns slowly. So when you flick it, it's like this. It goes flick 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 flick, and you want it to just turn nice and slow, and the slower the better. Just like when you're using a regular camera, 35 millimeter type cameras, when you're or even the I have a whole bunch of stuff by DJI. The cameras, the little Osmo Pocket, the Osmo Action. There again, you turn it real slowly. That'll give you some nice cinematic video. break your ankle bone, let me tell you. Yeah. Well, the worst thing that happened to me was, this is an outdoor field, the gas one, the nitro guys, they're going around, and I'm marshaling. And one guy had flipped over on the other side of the track from where I was standing. So I went to 2 steps to get over the track. So I have to put 1 foot in on the track, and then I'm on the other side. Well, some other guy was coming around, and I happened to step right on it. And he was still going. So it flipped me over because I put a lot of weight on it, and it took me away and flipped me over. Did no damage to the car. That was my worst experience. I stepped right on somebody's vehicle. And then I could see them in the what do you call that? Not the dugout, but where they were standing to fuel up and things. You could see them talking to each other. So they were probably saying, "Oh, that goofball, he just stepped right on your vehicle," or what have you. But anyway, it flipped me right over. I got to put new batteries in my clock. There I was, laying in bed, and I look up at the clock, and it was 5 o'clock in the morning. And I said, "Wow, it's still early. I got to sleep for another hour or two at least." And so I tried to go to bed, sleep, and nothing happened. And 6 o'clock came along, and wow, this is really taking a long time. And then when it got to be close to 8 on the clock, then I thought, okay, I'll get up and I'll go have breakfast. So I went to A&W to have breakfast this morning, and I look up at their menu, and there's nothing but hamburgers on their menu. There's no breakfast menu anymore. So what happened to the breakfast menu? Did you guys do away with it or what? So I got my phone out, and I looked at my phone, and it was 11:30 in the afternoon or in the morning. Now, what? So I had to race, get something to eat quick, race and get my set up for my live today. So I was way behind. Yeah, you never know the pain until you get a 110 RC in the ankle. Yeah, no kidding. I never did do the boats or jets, just slow aircraft propellered and glider, and then RC cars. I did the electric and but now that the drones are out, that is fantastic. Fantastic. And I love my Mavic Pro. And like I said, I don't care if it's somebody was saying I had this is my third one, Mavic Pro. The reason I got the Mavic Pro second one, well, because I got about 3 of them. I bought one. My fault. It flew away because I was using a third-party app, not the Go4 app, and I didn't have the third-party app set up the way it was supposed to go. As a matter of fact, when you can set the app to say, okay, waypoint to waypoint to waypoint, and you can say how fast you want it to go, but it did not say that at this speed all the way around it can't make it. It won't make it there. And I think I could have controlled, I don't know if I could have done anything while it's flying. I can't remember, because it took off and it started to fly to the first waypoint and second waypoint and so on. And then I thought, oh, but it won't make it. My decision, like it won't make it there. How do I speed it up? So I went through the menu, but I couldn't. I couldn't control it for some reason. So it just went, and I thought, well, I hope it makes it back. Well, obviously it didn't. It made it. It was supposed to fly over this golf course. It was on its way back home, but it was over the golf course, and it couldn't make it. So it just landed. And the reason I know that is because I got the video back. I got the drone back. But it was several weeks, because I've got my license number on there, and I've got my phone number on my drone, my Mavic. So it flew away, and it was in a place called Squamish, which is about 50 miles away from Vancouver. I went back to Vancouver, so disappointed that I lost my drone. I ordered another one. So I've got another Mavic Pro. Then I get a phone call that the first one was found. So I went and picked it up, and it was in the rain one day, so it got water damage. I turned it on. It looked like it would fly, but even the DJI companies wouldn't fix it because they said, we can't fix water damage drones because they might work. And then in a month from now, you'll say something happened and it didn't work. So that they don't like to fix them when there's water damage. And the same as phones and stuff. There's little indicators in there that tell it had water damage. So anyway, now I have two of these. One worked, one didn't. I used the first one that got water in it as for parts like the camera and the fan, and not necessarily the motherboard part, but the motors, the shell, things like that. And I did use a leg from the one onto the other one because I hit a power line that came down, cracked the leg on it. So I put a new leg in there. That was my second drone, which I'm still flying today, this one. But it also flew away. Third-party app again. And for some reason, I think I was just flying. It wasn't waypoint to waypoint. I was just flying it. And when I wanted to pull back on the stick, it hesitated. It wouldn't come back very well. It would always want to keep, if I just let go of the stick, it would go forward. So I thought, oops, something's wrong here. So I couldn't figure out what was wrong. I'm too tense. I couldn't figure out what the heck was going on. And RC cars? Well, yes and no. I've had guys that were in RC cars and they switched to RC helicopters and RC planes, which was a little cheaper, I guess. But like any of these hobbies, they can be expensive, even in the drone hobby, especially DJI. Hey, my battery's finally charged. I can go out and fly for 15 minutes. They can all be expensive. It all depends on how much money you want to put into it. I have a friend that's got a whole bunch of drones, must have spent thousands of dollars. But when you buy little bits and pieces at a time, it doesn't seem like it. You put it all together, yeah. But anyway, the second drone flew away, and it wanted to keep going, and I kept pulling back on the sticks and try to turn it. It just wanted to go. So I figured my phone number's on it. Somebody might hopefully find it, whatever. That one I got back in a couple of days. If it was another week, I'd have ordered another one because I got to have a drone. But the guy phoned me, and I got the video from it again and posted the video, how it all worked or what happened. And I got that drone back. Now, how did I get another drone? Why did I buy a third drone? I ended up buying another one for some reason. I don't, maybe it was because of that one. It was several days longer. So I bought another one, but I ended up selling that one. So it was, I bought one. Yes, I did buy the third one, but I didn't need it because I got my second one back, and I sold the third one to a couple of brothers that each chipped in a few $100s each, and they bought that drone from me. So I've had 3 Mavic Pros, and one of them I just kept for parts, and the second one I still have, and it flies beautiful. RC cars, I don't know if they're more expensive as a hobby than drones would be. It's been many, many years since I've been into the RC car or airplane hobby. Many, many years. It was just that the nitro for them was expensive, even back then. them days. That's more than 20 years ago. Must be. Just buying a gallon of nitro was expensive, and then you'd burn it up, and they were just like diesel. There's no spark plug. There's a glow plug, which once it gets started, it's going. You still have them? 20,000. Yikes. Don't tell your wife. Or that's this friend of mine here. He keeps telling me about his wife buying all these things on Amazon, like buying a chair or something, or buying all this stuff from Amazon. And he's complaining about it. And I'm thinking, I didn't say anything, but I'm thinking to myself, well, he's spending all this money on drones. Probably more than his wife does on other things. Yeah, no kidding. You can get a real car for that much money. All but a couple are gone, eh? There's still an RC, what do you call it? Run roadway out here. What do you call it? Circuit. I think to get in, you have to be a member because the thing's locked with a combination. You can go there anytime you want to, as long as you're a member, you can get in. I think that's still here. I don't know if it's still running or not. We do have an RC airport, tiny RC airport out by the gun shooting range. And people still go fly aircraft out there. They won't allow me to fly my drone inside the fence of the RC airport. They said you can fly on the other side of the fence, not outside their private property, but outside the fence of the area that's the runway that's fenced in. So in order to get your aircraft onto the runway, you have to walk through this chest high fence in, and then they got tables out there where you set your aircraft on, work on them, and then onto the runway and take off. And they won't let me fly my aircraft in there, even when there's no other airplanes there. If I'm even the only one there, there's usually in the summer there's usually somebody, they camp in a trailer out there, and they're out there, I guess, 24 hours, to keep an eye on the place. Although they do have the fence locked, and if you're a member, again, you can let yourself in, either with a key or with a combination to the lock or something. But anyways, you can get in that way. But that's okay. If you look at where the Mavics can't fly in Medicine Hat, there's like around the airport, there's the official 5 mile or whatever it is, 5K circle where you're not supposed to fly. That encompasses all of Medicine Hat. So you can't really fly within the city at all. The Mavic drones won't even come on. They won't turn on. You can't get the props to turn if they're within that. It knows it's within that radius, and they won't even come on. Although my Mavic is hacked, I paid $50 to go with a NLD, no limit drones, which hacks the because my drone is not supported by DJI anymore anyway. So I purchased the $50 several years ago now, 5 years ago, to allow it to fly anywhere I want to. I can fly right at the airport. I can fly right on the runway of the airport if I want to, whereas any other DJI that's not hacked can't do that. I can't go anywhere in Medicine Hat, and this little thing won't even start up. I tried to do it at my friend's shop that he had there, and it says right on the screen, it says you're within airport distance, move farther away. And I don't think this one is on the NLD yet, so it will be able to be hacked in the future, but I'm not going to hack this one. I'm just going to fly this one where I can, where I'm allowed to. Yeah, well, see, that's another thing, Rob. Uh, my Mavic I'm supposed to license this too, but I'm not going to. My Mavic is licensed, bought and paid for. $5 for the license and $10 to take the test, and I passed with a 87%. And even then, there was 4 or 5 questions on my exam that had to do with aircraft, nothing to do with drones at all. For example, I used to fly Flight Simulator, Microsoft Flight Simulator, and I would fly with ATC, like other people out there that like to do the ATC part. Other guys just like to fly airplanes, and I used to fly WestJet 737 online, and it was so realistic. It's just you're not in a real airplane, but otherwise so realistic, and you have to learn the lingo of the air traffic controllers. It's spoken just like as if you're in a real aircraft environment. Everything is just like that in the simulator, same way, although you're sitting in your house. And one of the questions on my exam was, what does radio check mean? Well, I know what that means, but you don't use radio check for drones at all. What's that got to do with the drone? I guess, like, that made no sense to me whatsoever. And then another one was, the question was, if the ground temperature is at this temperature and then the air above it is at this temperature, what is that called or whatever? Well, as far as a drone pilot, you don't care what that is. You're just going to fly. Whereas in an aircraft, that makes a lot of difference. But it's had nothing to do with drones. So if you're going to pass a drone test, let's have, I know they wanted you to probably understand what aircrafts are about, but that's the wrong place and wrong time to do that. They should have just asked drone questions, and then if you wanted to fly in certain places, then maybe take like near airports and what have you, then take the different exams. And I fly my drone a lot of times illegally anyways. A lot of times legal, not to fly over crowds of people. If I'm flying like over somebody, well, too bad, it's over them. Private property is a little different. Not necessarily in a city, private property, but like a farmer's field. I've been questioned a couple of times by farmers as saying, "Are you flying over my land?" And I'm saying, "Yes." He said, "Well, you're not. That's private property. You can't do that." Well, that's just too bad, because they don't own the air above their land. They only own the land. They don't own the sky above the. But I cannot fly over their land to their house, near their house. I can fly above their house, but that's illegal. So if they phone the federales about flying over their land, that's just too bad. That's totally legal to do that. It only costs $50 to get $50 to get a drone. $15 for the for your license, and $10. This is in Canada, and $10 for the actual license. Now, I think in Canada it's a little different than other countries. To license each individual aircraft is just one license for as many aircraft as you have, whereas in other countries you have to pay for each individual aircraft. And there's different And yet I fly really high. Like, because my Mavic is hacked, I can fly 5 miles straight up. You're only supposed to go 400 feet, like 120 or whatever it is meters, legally. So when I took that one video where I was flying near Police Point there, it's a park called Police Point, I was flying over the cliffs. I went more than a mile up. 160 meters is a mile, and I was just slightly over that, 1,800 meters, to look down at the river and to look down at the city and what have you. And then I'm coming down, and I'm only, maybe just 100 meters up still. And then here goes a single Cessna airplane. Flew right there where I was. So, that's not good. Although this aircraft would know that airplane was there, and it would come down. It has the stuff built into it to recognize that, hey, there's an aircraft there. We can't be here. And I don't know if it has a transmitter that even the aircraft will know that there's something there, like a drone. So I think that's what this one has. So anyway, I got to watch out for that. I have a tendency to fly where I'm not supposed to. Like Medicine Hat TP is very close to the airport. If I take this drone there, it won't start. The motors won't even come on. But if I take my Mavic there, it's hacked. I can fly around that TP. And I don't go higher than the TP anyway. And an airplane's not going to fly that low. They're not supposed to fly any lower than 500 or 600 meters anyways. So there would be no bumping into anything. But I guess that's not the law, so that don't matter. But I wanted to take a nice spiral around the TP all the way up, a helix, and that's what I did. When I first had my Mavic and took it out to the TP, I wanted to do that. Hi, Vicky. Hi, you missed out on our little slideshow we had earlier. So I took my Mavic out, put it on the ground. Oh, what do you know? Engines won't come on. So I went out to the ballpark a little farther away. Now the engines will come on. So I took it up about 4 feet and flying towards the TP, and then full stick forward, and all of a sudden it just stopped. It wouldn't go any farther. It's sitting there hovering, but wouldn't go any farther at all. So it knows there's a barrier there. Yet when I do the Mavic now, after it's been hacked, it says you're flying in a no-fly zone. It tells me that. Yes, I know. But it still runs. A healing herbs. Oh, cool. I've checked into those ones that you were telling me about, high blood pressure. And now it'd be nice if you can go and pick a lot of these yourself. But when you buy them from the, like Nutters, I think it's called, or a health food store, man, they're bloody expensive. The only difference between those kind of herbs sold at a health food store as opposed to medications like sold at the pharmacy is they don't have to specify on their bottle the pros and cons of this. They can say what they want on their label. So it could be true, it could be false. But I mean, as long as you study what's in there, then that's fine. But they're not regulated like other medications are. But really expensive. I have some oil of oregano, really high concentrate stuff up there that I had a little black mark behind my ear. And somebody said, "What's that black mark behind your ear? That's cancer. You're going to die from that." And oh, what is that? So I put oil of oregano on that, and it burnt the shit out of my skin because I kind of overdid it. But I'll tell you, it got rid of that black spot completely. It used to be a bump and black. It went away, completely gone. No mark, no bump, no nothing. And then it came back again after a few years, and I put some more on. Now there's nothing there again. I don't know what it is or what it was, but that stuff is good. And if you have to swallow that, I mean, it's meant to put internally also, but wow, very, very. You just came back from foraging. Yeah, cool. I don't like mushrooms, but people in Vancouver, they pick a lot of mushrooms. I guess they know what kind. Uh, yeah, did you video that? We got to go have a look. It's free to get yourself. Well, you'll have to do your video and explain to me what you're looking for. What am I? I don't have the kind of terrain, I guess, that you do, that this stuff would grow, and how you actually make it into a, so you can take it, you can eat it or drink it or whatever you do with it. Well, yeah. See, my research would be, I guess, YouTube and doing research on what other people are telling me is right or wrong. I don't know if I could go through and do a research that would myself, like in books or something, or what have you. Like cinnamon and stuff, you can get this cheap, but other things, uh, yeah, it's very big in BC. I have an Aboriginal couple of friends there that's in season. That's what they do. They go picking mushrooms, huge bags full, garbage bags full, and then sell it. That's their job in the season. And they don't overpick. They leave some. They I've seen people pick all the mushrooms and leave nothing. They probably can't regrow for next time. And usually in BC, it's almost year round. It all depends on where you go. It's so on the island, it's so nice. Mushroom seasons are probably all the time, unless you're picking the magic mushrooms. We used to pick those out of the cow shit. That's where they would grow the best. Now, I haven't taken any of my pills yet this morning, and I'm going to have to get after that because my philosophy is God meant not for anybody to take pills. And unfortunately, I have to take a handful of pills because my body is not correct. So I have to do something about that. Roadsides, parks, dry it, steep it in the tea. Yeah, that's one way to go. That's for sure. And Rob on the road. Hang on. I got to do something with the light here on this side. It's like it's too bright in my eyes. I can't see what's going on. Okay, that should be a little better. And then what do we got here? Yeah. And even if it's not just mushrooms, if it's something, other than mushrooms, they devastate the place. Or like garbage, putting garbage out in the forest. Like, you can't find chaga anywhere. I know. Now, well, I've looked up in Canada anyways. The farther north you go, the better. Like, even the farther south, like where I'm at, I haven't found chaga yet. But there is a place at Edmonton, which is about 6 hours away from here, more north. There they have it. And the more northerly you go, um, that's where it grows more. You can't hardly find any the farther south you go. Take the red one. Take the red one. I'm not quite too sure what that means. What meds you are on? Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. Well, that sounds cool. The meds I'm on are for, well, I'll give you a list if you need the actual names of them. The meds that I'm on are for diabetes, of course, high blood pressure, although very, very small. There's a real tiny pill I take for blood pressure, and I'm taking a quarter of that daily. So my blood pressure is probably not too bad. My cholesterol is, when I was off all my pills, I got off metformin, and I was off all my pills because I actually did what the diabetic nurse. Well, not actually what she said though. I went by this Dr. McDougall. I went by what he says, and not everybody believes. And I don't want to keep bringing it up, but not everybody believes in Dr. McDougall's method of fighting type 2 diabetes is totally curable. But some people say, well, you're eating too many carbs. Well, they're different kind of carbs. That's the whole point. It's the starchy foods that worked. It worked for me. It might not work for everyone. Like potatoes, pasta, rice, corn, all those starchy foods really did really good for me. And I got off all my medications, every single one, just what God intended me to do, to have no pills. And the diabetic nurse says, what the heck are you doing? How come she said, the only problem you have is your potassium is too low. She said, eat more bananas. Or she just mentioned that. There's other ways to get potassium. But so I said, well, thank you. And they wanted to take pictures of me for their model, a person that had beaten the odds. Well, yes, I was off everything. And I didn't have to take pills. If you don't have to take pills for diabetes, you're actually cured. It doesn't mean that you're if you start going back to the old way, you'll eat, like eating fats and things that were not good for me, then yes. But if you don't have to take medications and you can keep your diabetes under control, that's what you want. Hunting. Hunting wildlife or hunting plants. Yeah, unfortunately, I take a handful of pills in the morning and a handful of pills because I'm too stubborn to not eat the things I'm supposed to not eat. They taste so good yet. So it's my fault. What's up here? The combination of well, if I find lots of chaga, Vicky, I'll send you some. I do have a good amount here. I still make tea. And like I said, the tea, for me, chaga tea doesn't taste like anything at all. Oh yeah, it is. What did I say there that I said no, it wasn't, and you say, oh yeah, there is. Let me know what that. Oh yeah, right. The vessels, meaning me, my body doesn't need medications. God meant you not to take medications, and I unfortunately have to for my diabetes to control my diabetes. I could control it. I'm just too stupid and too stubborn to. That's my problem. It's not. It's, I, when I did that the first time I did that, I didn't exercise at all, not at all. And matter of fact, Dr. McDougall says we don't want you to exercise because then you'll want to eat more. Just don't exercise. Just let the diet do its work for you. And it's not a diet; it's a lifestyle, is what he's concerned with. But it's eating starchy foods, and it worked for me. I lost 50 pounds in no time. I loosened my belt up or tightened it up by 2 notches. The first time I didn't even know what was happening. The second time I tightened up my belt and I'm losing weight. And then I went to the doctor and he said, well, you don't have to take metformin anymore or any of these high blood pressure pills, none of them, because you take metformin and when your sugar is low, you're going to lower it even more. Don't do that. So thanks for popping in there, Tommy. Love your work you're doing on your. I didn't know what you meant by damage until you showed me there, the corner. I don't know how you got that bumped in there. You must have backed into something. But waiting for part 2. I couldn't do any comments because, believe it or not, where I park over there at McDonald's or Walmart, I can watch videos, but they don't allow you to comment. I guess they don't want you to comment on any videos. So thanks for coming in there, Tommy. Yeah, it grows best in cow poop, that's for sure. But it grows and the ones that we pick weren't the big red one. They were very tiny little things. And sometimes we would like pick bread bags full of these things. And you have a tendency to eat a few as you're walking, and by the end of your picking session, you're kind of laying down in the cow shit there, and oh yes, yeah, oh yeah, keep making the tea. Oh, but I was explaining it doesn't taste like anything, so I never tried with cinnamon yet, but I've tried with honey to give it some sort of flavor. Otherwise, it's maybe kind of an earthy flavor as opposed to it doesn't taste like anything. It might have like an earthy flavor. I don't know about type 1, but type 2 diabetes, they say, is actually curable. And people say, oh, no, you can never cure diabetes, whatever. Now, the point is, if you leave your diabetes go unchecked and your organs start being affected, now that might be a different story. My organs might be affected to the point where they can't come back anymore. And your liver is one of the most incredible organs in your body, the size of a football in you. Once it gets fatty tissue on the outside, you want to get rid of that, because that's when your liver kind of thinks, well, gee, I can't function properly. I'm covered in liver or fat. And I know some of you are probably saying, well, or some people say the fat you eat is the fat you wear. And some people say, well, fat is good for you. Well, it all depends. Like, there are some diets out there that are total meat diets where you eat nothing but meat. For me, I couldn't eat that. For my body, I couldn't eat just meats. As a matter of fact, I'm not supposed to eat meat at all. None at all. And when I went to Dr. McDougall's diet, cold turkey, I just said, okay, I don't know why I did it last time. I can't do it now. Is I went cold turkey. No meat, no dairy, no eggs. And I just did it. But I could fill my plate full of pasta so much it would come out my ears. Potatoes. It's what you put on the stuff is what counts. But there are gravies and sauces and stuff that you can put on these things that are for diabetics that make it taste just as good. Now, if you don't like potatoes and pasta and rice and corn and stuff like that, that is high in starch, well, I can't eat those other diets that say your biggest part of your meal has to be salad. Like, to me, that's like bird food. When you take handsful and handsful and handsful of spinach and put it in your pot to cook with your stuff, it ends up to be like just a small handful when it's done. No, that's the same thing as it does in your stomach. You eat this great big huge salad, and by the time it's all mushed up, there's nothing left. It didn't fill you up at all. Whereas potatoes and pasta and rice and all that stuff fills you up. As a matter of fact, if you eat so many grams of salad or so many grams of a certain kind of food, your stomach only gets filled up this much. But when you eat potatoes of that many grams, it overfills your stomach, which means you don't have to eat as much. I'm not a doctor, so we can't use what I say as gospel. It's only what I've read and what I've kind of learned a little bit, and it might not all be right all the time. So just remember that. How much the grocery store foods. Yeah, and that's the thing. You don't know how much grocery food stuff is they put in there, preservatives and all kinds of stuff. You can't get away from salt and sugar. There's sugar in everything, and there's salt in everything. And I don't even go by what it says on there for carbohydrates. That's there's I don't know, two or three or there's lots of different kinds of carbohydrates. And it all depends on how your body breaks those carbohydrates down. um, it, yeah, I'm not supposed to have meat at all. Then the people would say, well, how do you get protein? Well, where does meat come from? Where does a cow get it? I mean, it eats grass. So, I mean, protein you can get it. Nutritional yeast has a lot of protein in it. I can get all the vitamins and all the proteins I need from eating potato, pasta, rice, just those three things. You can get all the stuff you want from that, believe it or not. It's how your body breaks down the carbohydrates. There's long stem carbohydrates and there's short ones. And I forget which one of them it is, but one of them breaks down really slowly or whatever. And that's good for diabetics so that it breaks it down slowly, not fast, turns it into sugar. You want it to go slowly. And that's what those starchy foods do, is they especially those ones, you'll get controversial things no matter where you go. Like Dr. Atkins one time had a famous diet, but I can't do a Dr. Atkins diet. That would kill me. I mean, the way I am right now. Um, and unfortunately, I can't just stop taking my meds. Although Dr. Atkins, if you were to go and visit with him and go into his uh, uh, see, when I make a pasta dish, I make lots of pasta. I don't. The stuff I put on it is I don't put the tomato sauce like they have there. I do put tomato sauce on it, but it's the kind that's strictly just tomato sauce. No tomato chunks, no things like that. It's because it's got less of whatever in it that is good for me, and I can eat that until it comes out my ears. And when you test your blood sugar after the fact, and it's totally in normal numbers, what does that tell you? That's good. And I'm sure my meter, whether it's lies to me or not, but whatever the numbers are giving me, oh, I missed this one. You found chicken of the woods. Oh, yes. People in Vancouver pick a lot of that stuff. Now, that's where the people would pick the whole thing and leave nothing there, which means it can't even regrow itself. If you just pick a few mushrooms and leave some there, or the roots or whatever you leave to make it grow again later, that's what you want. But we've seen people walking out with bags of mushrooms, and you go in there, they even root them up. They're gone. There's no way of getting them back. And I did see a couple boxes of cheap pasta at Walmart, which is out of the ordinary. Well, there again, I follow a guy on YouTube that he does cooking, cooking videos. All of his cooking is from the dollar store, believe it or not. Like, for example, pasta, dry pasta, macaroni, spaghetti. How can you go wrong? Is there something different about what's in the pasta then? Because to me, there seems like at the dollar store, it's $1. It's cheap compared to if you go to Walmart. It's still cheaper at Walmart, but not as cheap as the dollar store. So I go and get pasta from the dollar store. Maybe not other things, but this guy that does all of his cooking from the dollar store, he said the meat products are no, you want to stay away from those. But there are all kinds of other things that he makes, and pretty good meals. I've never made any, but not bad. Made your own pasta tomato sauce. Well, if you have a, what do you call it, blender type thing, you could probably zip them up. I should try that. I have a small ninja blender thing. I could put tomatoes in there. I'm sure diabetics can eat tomatoes. Not there's some fruits and stuff that you shouldn't be eating as far as a diabetic. Well, real sweet ones. Um, like I like dragon fruit too, but way too expensive. It's like a small dragon fruit like this is probably $7. That's I can pay less than that for a whole watermelon. But then again, watermelon might be too much sugars in a watermelon. I don't know. But there again, you see, you go to the grocery store, for example, Walmart, you find aisles and aisles and aisles of food, and you'll find one whole aisle that's dedicated to uh, intolerance, glucose, or what do you call our intolerance thing? Not necessarily gluten-free stuff. There's all the stuff you can buy, but they don't have a section in there for diabetics. Why not? There's more diabetics out there than there are. And as a matter of fact, that's why they don't want to get rid of diabetes, because the medications that people have to take they don't want to stop you from taking those. That's where they make their money. My grandmother, you see there again, my grandmother used to make her own bread, her own pasta, homemade chicken noodle soup. Oh, with real chicken and real pasta, like homemade fresh pasta. Like we used to put a sheet on the bed and let the pasta lay on there and dry. Like, wow. And then we go out and butcher a chicken that is made into soup. Best tasting ever. And then my mother's generation, a little bit away from that. She used to bake her own bread, but not always. But that was as far as it would go. Canning, my grandmother canned a lot of. You'd go into the basement, there was sealers and jars and full of all kinds of stuff. My mother, no. My sister now, the next generation down, nothing. It's all bought in the stores. I think now if the trucks couldn't get through and they couldn't ship you in any food, we'd starve to death. People wouldn't know. Like you go to the local farmers and get their raw wheat. How do you make it into bread? That's right. They want us sick. Matter of fact, they're probably killing us slowly but surely. Yeah, I'm not. My body can handle like oh, I love milk. I just love the. I don't know. It's not necessarily the taste. I guess I don't know, but I don't drink as much as I used to. But oh, I love milk, and that's one of the ones that you're not supposed to um, gluten. But I don't like the taste of gluten-free things. Like, and then people would make things that taste not too bad at all. You know, it's the gluten stuff in it that makes it taste good. Fat makes things taste good. Salt makes things taste good. Those are the and see those are the three things right there. Yeah, no kidding. And when I that's because of society. Yeah, I see. When my grandparents, they were in a tiny little town, but they had a farm, and in the summer they would stay in the farmhouse because you'd have to get up early and do the wheat and what have you. But there, everything was more handmade and fresh. My grandparents would be, they would also butcher at the certain times of year for other farmers too. And they would have chickens and cows and all kinds of things that they would butcher and make for their neighbors. And we'd get to eat all that fresh food um, and real food. And I don't really know if we even knew what the word diabetes was back then. Maybe some people had that, but I mean, I don't know. And unfortunately, what unfortunately nowadays they got to put all that other stuff in. Do they got to put it in there, or do they have to put it in there, or is it just in there to? I don't know. Like, why is all those preservatives in there? You got to try to not eat out of a can or a box. No, and I got to be able to taste the milk that comes right from the cow. You take the teat and right in your mouth. Nice warm milk, full of fats and like we used to shoot the cats. The cats would drink the milk as we're milking. Well, we had a separator. You put the milk in the separator, and you get the cheese or the cream, and then the milk. But that was real milk. Nowadays, they even say you don't want to drink the milk. There's stuff in there that is not really even good for you. And yet I still like the taste of milk, I guess. Maybe it's the taste. I don't know. But yeah, at least I did come from a generation that got to see all these things and taste these things. Nowadays, the kids they don't know what that means. Oh, and sugar. Yes, I forgot about sugar. Sugar, salt, fat. Blah, 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 blah. You see, there's another doctor out there who is friends with Dr. McDougall that says you can cure heart attack, where you can never get a heart attack. All you got to do is eat the right food, right? And I think it's this way: human beings are from, whether God put us here or whatever, but we're from Earth. Everything that's on this planet can either kill us or cure us. Everything on this whole planet is meant for us here. And if we have cancers or whatever, there are cures out there. Everything we have is from this planet. So this guy that says you can cure a heart attack, well, he said, how do you know you're going to have one? How do you cure a heart attack? Well, a heart attack is all it is the blood vessels that are going to your heart when it gets a cholesterol or whatever have you, it goes from the outside of the vessel. It pokes its way through and goes inside your blood vessel and starts filling it up with cholesterols, and then the blood can't get through, and now you have a heart attack. A heart attack is any time that the blood is stops or restricted from going to the heart. If it's the other way around, where it's coming from the heart and it gets a blockage, you'll get a stroke. So when it's coming, well, either way, either one, it's cured. The idea is there is an enzyme around your blood vessels, all your blood vessels. And what that enzyme does, when you climb stairs, like climb the Empire State Building, the stairs, try to go up all them stairs, what happens to your heart and what happens to your blood vessels? Your blood vessels expand, allowing you more blood to go through there because your heart's pumping more. So how does your blood vessels get bigger? It's that enzyme around the outside that tells your blood vessels to go bigger or smaller. And that enzyme that's around your blood vessels is so tiny, molecules around there. And that stops cholesterol from going into the blood vessel. So you want to maintain that enzyme that's around your blood vessels so that cholesterol can't do that. So how do you do that? Is don't eat fat at all. Stop eating all fat. I don't care what kind of fat you're talking about, whether it's granola, sesame seed oil, or any kind of oil. That attacks that enzyme. And when that is attacked, cholesterol can go in there and you can have a heart attack. If you stop eating fat altogether, you can never have a heart attack, ever. And that's what this doctor is saying. Like, again, don't believe everything I say. This is just what I've read and what I've seen on YouTube and not TV. Yeah, try to stay as mostly home-based stuff best you can. Oh, did we say hi to Sandra? I didn't see that you'd popped in. Oh, hello. You're gonna have to go back and look at the begin, or were you here at the beginning when we had the slideshow? I can't remember. Maybe I did see you in here. Uh, to be able to not eat from boxes and cans. Yeah, you need a farm that has a little bit of every. That's what was nice when I lived with my grandparents. They had a farm, and our garden was huge. The garden was big, which means we would have more food than we could eat at the time. But the basement was full of these things, like great big vats of carrots that were put in sawdust that would keep all winter long. Um, a lot of things that she would can to keep. Well, we did eat meat and stuff like that too, yes. But there was no such thing as diabetes. We never knew the word or any kind of other disease. It would just eat your eggs, drink your milk, and eat your meat or whatever. Life was good. Yeah, you should be able to prevent a lot of a lot of things just by. I have one saying, Vicky. uh, Man created alcohol. God created marijuana. Who do you trust? I unfortunately stopped smoking because I'm going to Mexico and I don't want to jeopardize anything. So I've been away for ever since my birthday, before, a couple of months now. So my system should be clean. And in Mexico, it's illegal there. It's not illegal in Canada. Yeah, but yeah, if you eat and drink and do the stuff that's natural, that's what that's made for. Nature made it. I know it's there's another one. Bacon tastes so good. I've even had donuts, Long John, chocolate Long John with a strip of bacon on top. Like bacon seems to go good with everything. And it's, man, totally full of salt and fat. Beer fat. Bear fat. Bear, if you take a bear and skin it, gross, but you skin a bear to get his fur, but after that, it looks like a human being there. Just the body, that grossed me right out. I said, wow, that looks like a person. But we just, need the skin for a rug. I thought so. I thought so, but maybe it was someone else that popped in and out, and I thought, oh, root cellar. Well, this was an actual basement, but it had no cement floor and no cement walls. It was just a hole tall enough to stand under, with light bulbs on the girders, the floor joists. But the walls, there was no. It was a dirt floor and dirt walls. Salamanders used to hang out down there. My grandmother, she loved those. She didn't care about salamanders, but the house pet cat. You don't keep pet animals in the house. They're on the farm. They're meant to be outside. They're not in the house. But because we lived in a little town, or they lived in a little town, the house was in town. The house cat would be in the house, and the cat. My grandfather said that the cat, he crawls around all at night when on the cupboards and stuff looking for food. My grandmother said no way. So he put flour all over the countertops. Blew some flour onto the countertops. And in the morning, my grandmother got up and saw all these cat footprints all over the flour. So the cat was sitting at the top of the stairs one day, and she gave it a kick, poof, in the ass. Down it went, all the way down to the basement. You're never coming up here again. She didn't like the cat. She was clean. The cat's never coming up on the cupboard anymore, ever. Correct. A little bit behind in the things that's going on here. Uh, oh, hunting wildlife. Oh, okay, that's what the bow there you're talking about. My dad used to have a really nice compound bow like that. We sold all his hunting rifles and all the bow. Didn't know the prices of anything. We more or less probably gave things away. But like, if he's looking down, he would probably say, that's worth more than that. My phone is even worse for autocorrect, auto spelling, and if I'm not watching at what I'm saying, it's put a different word in there. When I hit enter or when I hit send, it's not. It didn't say what I wanted it to say. Hopefully, the other person on the other end, well, they usually do know, but then they'll type in a correct what I meant was blah blah blah, and you don't have to say I meant to say. I already know what you meant. Because it's wrong, I kind of figure out what's supposed to be there. And for me, I leave the bad words. I still leave them in there. I don't want them to correct that, because sometimes I want to say that, and the more harder I try to type that in there, it wouldn't accept it. So I had to turn that off. I want to say this. I always call it fat fingers. See there, Vicky, you said I typed too fat, and then you corrected yourself, and I typed too fast. But I knew what you meant by this statement already. I knew you meant to say I typed too fast. I know you didn't meant to say fat, where probably the correction corrected that for you, or you didn't look before you hit the key, and it corrected something. It thought you meant fat instead of fast, and then you got to go back and say I meant fast. As long as it doesn't sound like I'm giving you heck. That's not what I mean. Let me pour the water out of my jug here, and I'll go get something else to put in here. Throw that outside. Get into my fridge. Oh, and diet. A diet drink. I don't know. I hear some people saying if you're going to have if you're going to drink a Coca-Cola or something, is drink the one that's full of sugar and not the one that's got all that dextrose, glucose, all those O's in it. It might be better for you, but you're probably right. Like I've heard stories that all this glucose, dextrose, and all that stuff is one step away from when they embalm you. The embalming, like I'm slowly embalming myself. Is that true? Otherwise, how do they get something to taste so sweet like this stuff without putting sugar in it? Well, hang on. Let me have a look. This has got 10 calories per 1 cup, 250 milliliters. 0 fats, which is good. You can live without fat. Carbohydrate, 3 grams. Sugar, 1 gram of sugar, 1%. Protein, 0. Sodium, there's probably nothing in here except just a little bit of flavor. Sodium, 40 milligrams. Salt. Potassium, 10. Calcium, 10. Vitamin C, vitamin C, 18. So sugar, 1%. I don't know what kind of sugar it is. Oh, here we go. Filtered water, number 1 ingredient, of course. Reconcentrated cranberry juice, 2nd ingredient. Oh, good. Natural flavors. I don't know. Pectin, citric acid. Some of the stuff you can't even pronounce. Fumaric acid, sodium citrate. Sodium citrate, that was the stuff that gave me a what do you call it, stone one time, kidney stone. Ugh, yikes. Ugh, you don't ever want a kidney stone. Ascorbic acid, vitamin C. Sucralose, there we go. We got some of those O's in here. There's probably still a bunch of stuff in here you're not supposed to drink. But like I said, what can you buy that you're not supposed to eat anyway or drink? Well, thank you for enjoying my lives. I try not to imitate anybody else anyway. Like, why? Aspartame. No, not in this stuff. Anyway, no aspartame in there. That's the stuff, isn't it? The aspartame stuff. That's what's in like sugar-free Coca-Cola, Coke Zero or something. Somebody says, "Don't drink Coke Zero. Just drink a real Coke if you're going to have a Coke." And I thought, well, you're probably right, but I don't know. I didn't study that. Nothing real in this drink. The cranberries. What did it say about the cranberries? The cranberries are the only thing. Second ingredient, reconcentrated, reconstituted, whatever that means, reconstituted cranberry juice means suck all the good stuff out of the out of the cranberries. That's and water. That's probably the only two things in there that are not too bad for you. The rest of it's probably not good for you. Hello. Where's my phone? I think that ding 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 meant it's connected to Wi-Fi. Or anyway, no big deal. Yeah, I don't know what embalming fluid tastes like or smells like, but they were saying that this. Well, don't they say that? What's that cheese called? That's one not very far off from plastic. Cheese whiz. I like the taste of cheese whiz. I'm not supposed to eat cheese, period. And I don't eat cheese a lot. If it's in something like a farmer sausage wrap has cheese in it, I always ask for no cheese. But anyway, yeah, it's supposed to be molecules away from eating plastic cheese whiz. And lots of kids grow up on cheese whiz. Some adults drink the sugar stuff. Yeah. And you say that too. See, so that's other people I've heard that say, yeah, drink the real sugar stuff. As a matter of fact, Dr. McDougall says if you're going to, the doctor that I follow with the starch diet, he even says, if you're going to have sugar, make sure it's the white granular sugar. That's better for you than you really think it is. And people would say, oh, can't have a lot of sugar. Isn't sodium citric? Yeah, sodium is salt. Yes. Hang on. I'm going to get this book. And I've shown you guys this book a few times, but that's just the one that I follow. Let me get rid of the text there for a moment. This one here, The Starch Solution by Dr. John A. McDougall. If you just go out and have a look at this thing. You don't have to follow it. You don't have to believe what I say, or you don't even have to believe what he says. Just go and look it up about how potatoes by themselves. I mean, you can only have potatoes boiled, baked, fried, not in oil, mashed. But I did at one time, not for a year, but I did only potatoes 3 times a day. Potatoes only. Now you have to like potatoes in order to eat that. But this one guy from Australia had nothing but potatoes for a whole year. 3 times a day, every day, potatoes only. He lost a lot of weight, ate till they were coming out of his ears, like lots of. And when he went to the doctor, he lost a whole bunch of weight, 100 pounds, like he was 300 pounds. He lost a couple 100 pounds. And his numbers were perfect. No more diabetes, no more nothing. Just potatoes. No aspartame. That's a slow killer. No kidding. And when you got I like a Coke Zero, lots of aspartame. I don't even learn from my own mistakes, my own way of thinking. I tell everyone, do as I say, not as I do. I do too. I know for myself personally what worked. And I know I'm supposed to do these things, and yet I don't even do them. I say, don't do this. No meat, no dairy, no eggs. Not even bread. As a matter of fact, not even your multi-grain breads. Well, there again, in this book here, if you're going to eat the bread, it should be just the white starchy bread, white bread, not even rye bread, brown bread. Whereas pumpernickel bread and rye bread are better for you than any other bread. Pumpernickel, sourdough bread, best for diabetes. Now, there again, that's just my personal thoughts and what works for me. Why are there 300 different kinds of diets in the world? Because some work for some people and some they don't work for everyone. This and Dr. McDougall doesn't want to call this a diet. This is a lifestyle, and it's not restricting you from eating a lot of the foods. And there's recipes in here for all kinds of things. I don't know why I don't stick to this. I wish I had someone. I wish I had a wife to kick me in the ass all the time and say, Wayne, quit eating that. Quit doing that. Do what you say. It worked for me last time. I got off all my medication. All of it. High blood pressure, diabetes, cholesterol, medication, whatever. It's all gone. So what would be in your mind when I think I had a hamburger one time after that, and that tasted good, and then I had another one. Before you know it, you're eating stuff you're not supposed to again. And I gained some weight again. Yes, I'm probably pounds and pounds and pounds too heavy at the moment, and I don't even listen to myself. You love Cheese Whiz. I do too. I like the taste of Cheese Whiz. I like the taste of cheese. I'm not supposed to eat that, period. And I do. That's one thing. Okay, I try to avoid when I'm looking at labels. I try to avoid high sugars. Uh, Probably not so much the salt, but I do try to avoid salt. I don't care about the carbohydrate number. As a matter of fact, and I try to avoid fats and things. But as a matter of fact, in this book here again, well, he has several books out, but in here, um, see what happens when you get to be old? In mid sentence, I can forget what I'm talking about. Mid sentence. um, when you go down to his facility and put in his group, and as a matter of fact, if you're on metformin or any other kind of diabetic pills or high cholesterols or high blood pressure pills, he takes you off them all right away, instantaneously, without, he'll check you to see what you are, but he takes you off them all completely and then puts you on that lifestyle of eating the potatoes, the pasta, the rice, the corn, all the starches, and then he'll check you after a certain while to see if this what's this doing to you, and if you have to go back on some diabetes pills for a little while just to get you back to normal, that's what he'll do. Now, from my hang on. And remove the oxygen. Oh, really? Oh, I didn't know that. Cool. I learned something again today. Um, when you can control your stuff, your intake of whatever, then your diabetes can be cured. But I got to look up, once your organs start being affected, can your organs rejuvenate to, like your liver? I know can be fixed, but what about your other things? Like, from what I understand, if you have a heart attack, part of your heart dies, that can never come back again. It's just gone. So I don't know. But this stuff is probably not all good for you, but at least it's got some good things in it, and it tastes good and it's sweet. So, but I gotta live by my own words, and if I could only do that again, I don't know what's stopping me. I wish I could. So let me look here. What do we got? Holy smokes, what the heck? 2 hours and 55 minutes I've been online. Wow. All right, I think we got hopefully 5 more minutes, and then I'm going to end it short. We're going to call it a day because there's been a few of you have been in here for a long time already, and we're taking up your day to be going out hunting or doing something else as opposed to listening some old guy on the internet all day long. And I haven't even taken my morning pills yet. And it's 2 p.m, and I get no wonder I must be feeling funny. I didn't have a good week anyway. I was feeling kind of miserable. I don't know if I was kind of like, when you feel that way, sometimes they say it's a prelude to a heart attack or a stroke. You're slurring your words and stuff or something, you feel bad. I even went to the eye doctor, and he says, your vision is now down to 70/20 or 20, whatever that number is. It's not 20/20 anymore. It's 20/70. He says, twice as bad as it was last year. And he wants me to go and have this eye operation, where it fixes your either vision from long distance away. But now that I'm thinking about that, if I can correct my vision to a certain point where I just have to fix my glasses, get a different prescription for my glasses, that's all I need to do. Because he said, well, if you go for this operation, it's not going to be able to get rid of your glasses completely. And I don't want to have to go like this to see far away and then put them on again when I want to see close. Either I'm going to wear my glasses all the time or I want them off. So if this operation is not going to really, he says, when you get that cataract thing, it's not meant to get rid of your glasses. So, okay, if I'm going to wear glasses, then I can correct my vision up to a certain point, yes, before it gets too far gone. What's going in front of the screen? A stupid fly walked right over the camera. Why not fix it with the glasses if I'm going to wear my glasses anyway? And just keep doing it that way. So when I go down to Mexico, I'm going to check out my eyes down there and maybe get some proper. These ones here are 4 years old, so they're probably way out of whack. Although because your progression is getting less and less slowly done, you don't really notice it, as opposed to if it's done just real quickly. All right, people. Hopefully I can be at the thing on Monday at the whatever they call that, the sermon thing on Monday. And I have to remember the time and get popped in there. I think we'll end this one in a couple of minutes here. And the saying that I did get from Michael, and I say it, usually I try to say it every time I'm on, is that if nobody has told you they loved you today, let me be the first. I love each and every one of you because you're all my brothers and sisters. And I stand by that, and I do love everyone. So whether they accept it or not, or whether they like it or not, that doesn't concern me. If you don't want that, well then, too bad. Doesn't mean anything by that. Okay, whoops, I missed something. What's going on here? Reconcentrated. 360-degree video before the corn is done. Yeah, I like those. I don't own one of those cameras, but that 360-degree camera, those are nice. I like them. And goodbye to everyone, and we'll catch. Remember, stay safe, be awesome, stay cool, and most of all, stay nomadic outlaws. You know how to do that? Subscribe to Nomadic Vanman. And I know you all are. All right. Yeah, no kidding. I never believe anything I hear from the government, anyways, or from the food and drug administrations and what have you. Oh, fresh bread is so good. I usually get some at the Sobeys store over here, or the Save on Foods. They make fresh bread, and almost when it's warm still. That's when I went lived with my grandparents. Nice, warm, fresh, right out of the oven, fresh bread. Oh, man. And now it's just a memory. Never eat anything from Beyond Meat. Well, they probably put stuff in there that's not good for you, but there's no meat in it. That's what's... There's no meat. It's all vegetable. You're, you're not my wife, but you tell me, eat what you eat what you're supposed to eat. Yeah, I know if you were close, the next vehicle over, you'd come and tell me so. Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, I know. I love cheese too. Yeah, would be nice. That's why if you have a pet, you're talking to your pet, like you can answer you or she. I don't know if my number is in my description. My phone number. That's the same. My phone number is the same as my texting number. I don't know if I. Oh, let me put the one in front. My texting number and my phone number. So you can just text that number anytime. Or on Instagram, or what do you call it? Messaging. It's through the Instagram. I don't go to Instagram, so I don't watch Instagram at all. Yeah, if you didn't want to be here, you'd go. Yeah, I know. Drink your chaga. Yeah, it's getting shorter. Another 19 days in October, and then how many days left here? There's it's the 18th, so another 12 days here, so it's 30 days, another month. Well, don't let Terry know. It's a different kind, a different kind of I love you. It's like you love your sisters and your brothers. Yeah, likewise. And yes, all right, my friends, be calm, be cool, be awesome, stay nomadic outlaws, and we'll catch you guys next Sunday on the fun day, Wayne's World. And I should have another video out coming Monday, and maybe another one in the week. Catch you guys later. Have fun. Have a good rest of your week. Catch you on the next one.